Yo, what's good? It's your boy Derry Branch here of Memphis Wire on SportsView360.com. I'm going to talk about what has occurred with the Memphis Tigers men's basketball program over the last, 24, 48 hours after their exit from the NCAA tournament. And I'm not really surprised by what I've been hearing so far in regards to players leaving the program, transferring out, and that's the news that came down, earlier today was that guard Baraka Okojie plans to enter the transfer portal, according to the information told by Hitman Hoops, college basketball insider. Um, he averaged 8.1 points per game and 2.4 assists per game at George Mason, and came to Memphis for this upcoming season. Just the optics of how it played out. I would say I would I'll give it the first 7 to 10 games, 7 to 12 games of the season. I felt as though these moves were coming. Just the way things were playing out, the roster, the way the ball was moving. You know, who was he gonna overstep? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, he was backing up Tyrese Hunter, and then Dante Harris comes in and he does a little bit more than you. So that kind of puts him behind the eight ball. You know. Also, um, from Hitman Hoops as well is that Jared Harris, the 4-star guard, former 4-star guard, he also transferred this season. He also is entering the transfer portal, and I know that was coming a mile away. Brian didn't know that was coming when I didn't see him step onto the court. He pretty much, you know, Harris and Okojie pretty much were in the same boat. Who are you gonna play over? He had guys like um, Tyrese Hunter, PJ Haggerty. Later on, Dante Harris. He started to get the ball. PJ Carter started to get the ball. So that's a lot of mouths to feed. A lot of mouths to feed. A lot of players that have to have the ball in their hands. So that pretty much pushed both of those guys, you know, down the depth chart. And when they did get on the court, it just wasn't enough. It just wasn't enough to where Penny Hardaway could provide them with more playing time. It just wasn't enough. He just didn't. They just didn't. You just didn't see enough. Scoring output, enough contributions to where Penny Hardaway could keep those guys on the court, give them more minutes. When the other guys like Dante Harris could come off the bench, give you 16 points. PJ Carter could come in there, give you 9 or 10, shoot the occasional threes. It was gonna be difficult. So I know this was gonna happen once the Tiger season was over. No matter how far they got into the NCAA tournament, I know that these two players in particular, PJ Carter, not PJ Carter, my bad, Baraka Koji and Jared Harris were going to transfer. They were going to enter the transfer portal. Now, in other news from Hitman Hoops was that Dante Harris is planning to come back. That's the other news that's being reported. Um, and maybe PJ Carter may be coming back. So that will be huge news for the Tigers going into next season. Huge news for the Tigers in the off season right now. Because I think the more experience you can bring back, the more continuity you can bring back for next year. It's going to make you even better in the AAC, the non-conference slate, the AAC tournament, and the NCAA tournament. Because That's you bring these guys back, bring some shooters back. That's less you got to get at. That's less stress on you when you try to utilize the transfer portal. You know what I mean? So, but I'm not. This is not me speaking ill will on these guys either. I'm not. I hope they land in a place where they can get minutes, they can grow the games, they can become contributors. I hope they do that. I hope they find those places. But I felt as though here at Memphis, Hardaway is in a win now situation. Dating back to last year, even year before that, he's in a win. When you assemble a team like that from scratch, build it on the fly, change out the coaching staff. You don't have no time to wait. You need players to come in and contribute, do whatever they can, and they just kind of got pushed down the depth chart after after what you saw with Tyrese Hunter, Haggerty, um, Dante Harris. When those guys showed that there was gonna be key contributors for this team, that pushed them down. That pushed Harris and Okojie down the depth chart, man. It just did, you know. So I'm not really surprised by this information that was put out today. I'm not really surprised by it. In other news, I gathered today from College Basketball Insider was that a familiar face with the Memphis basketball program, former head coach Josh Pastner, will be now is in there's an agreement in place for Pastner to become the new head coach of the UNLV Rebels. So I believe next season, you can correct me in the comment section below, but I think there's a rematch next season. I think next year will be played in Memphis, if I'm not mistaken. So Josh Pastner will be coming back to FedEx Forum as the head coach of the UNLV Rebels. He did leave Memphis to go be the head coach at Georgia Tech. Got fired from Georgia Tech, and it's been I believe the last season, I believe, and this year he has been he's been a commentator for ESPN college basketball. So that's the other news that has been put out today. But there's a lot of other news I could go into, but I don't really have the time right now. And that's some transfer portal stuff. There's a lot of some players that I've seen mentioned on my timeline by Hitman Hoops that Memphis can have interest in bringing in. So I'll be plugged in to seeing how that's gonna transpire. But that's all the news I have for y'all for right now. Jared Harris and Baraka Okojie have both entered the transfer portal according to his reports, and Dante Harris is expected to return to the program for next season. So that's all I have for y'all for right now. Give me a like, comment, subscribe to the channel. What are your thoughts on Baraka Okojie and Jared Harris entering the transfer portal? And check out SportsView360.com for latest content on the Memphis Tigers football and men's basketball program. Have a blessed night. Peace. I'm out.